If anyone injures his neighbor, as he has done, it shall be done him. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, whatever injury he had given a person shall be given to him. It is Saturday, the 8th day of July, 2023. Clive Welsh here, inviting you to join me for the reading of today's devotional thought for today, and it is being read from the book Truth for Life by pastor and author Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled Unexpected Justice. That's Unexpected Justice. And the verses, Leviticus chapter 24, verses 19 and 20, and it reads, If anyone injures his neighbor, as he has done, it shall be done him. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, whatever injury he had given a person shall be given to him. That's the book of Leviticus chapter 24, verses 19 and 20. Alistair Begg writes, Some of us may be tempted to stumble over this sort of statement in the Bible, viewing it as too harsh and vengeful. However, this Old Testament principle is not about gaining unlimited retribution against an enemy. Rather, it is intended to ensure that the punishment for a crime matches and doesn't supersede the damage done. It is a protection against going over the top in vengeance while making sure that justice is rendered. Many parts of the world are bemoaned by Western culture's failure to match the crime with the punishment. For example, imagine that somebody steals millions of dollars through an elaborate, decade-long scheme. After months of going through the legal system, that person will probably be sentenced to many years in prison. And yet, the countless victims of the crime are still without their money. From Scripture's perspective, the criminal should have to work hard until he has paid back to everyone what has been taken. In that way, the punishment would match the crime. For justice to be served, punishment must take place. And everyone longs for justice of this kind deep down. Discussing the need in films, dramas, for a satisfying ending for flawed propagandists, Sarah Collerton, an executive television producer, commented, Whether you want to call it retribution, which is slightly too biblical for my taste, there is some need for moral judgment that accumulates with these characters, which they cannot escape. The fact that we know justice needs to be done is an indication that we were created by God as moral beings. We all exist with an internal awareness of oughtness, no matter how much some might try to deny it. In the Bible, however, ultimate justice is delivered in a completely unexpected way that satisfies not only our desire for justice, but our desire for vengeance. Though we are the criminals deserving judgment, someone else took all of our rags and moral unrighteousness, corruption, and religious indifference. The fitting punishment for our crime was death, yet Jesus Christ, the Son of God, bore that punishment in our place and instead clothed us with the credential necessary to live as His ambassadors and die as His friends. If you have laid hold of those righteous robes, never forget that you don't deserve them. Today, rejoice anew in God's grace. His righteous vengeance have been satisfied through Christ. As you have done, so it was done to Jesus. His punishment fits your crime, and so now your judge gathers you up in his loving embrace and calls you his child. The Christian can never be anything other than deeply humbled, and yet Christians need never feel anything other than secure and loved. And what a great way to end this devotional thought, to know that we are deserving death, but instead, God, through His grace and mercy, judged His Son, Jesus Christ, on the cross for us so that we can be secured and that we can know we are loved. Well, that concludes our devotional thought for this 8th day of July, 2023. Those of you reading through the Bible in a year, your assignment today is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, 33, and 34, and the book of Acts, chapter 7, verses 44 through 60. Clive Welsh here. May the Lord richly bless you.